Good afternoon here in Japan, hot and humid. Hope you're doing well. My name is Steven. We're going to be going over Pacific Flyboys, which is down here on the table. And this is the third time I'm making this video. So bear with me. Bear with me. Let me turn off this camera because we don't need to look at myself. We want to look at the game. Here it is. As you can see, I've already explained everything. Let me, I'm not going to talk about this again, actually. I'm going to talk about that later. So what is the state of the game? Well, the game is mostly finished. I've changed the carrier card a bit. Now we have the split between manpower and oil. I've changed the way the damage and fire control is done here. And I've added the known unknown section to the carriers themselves. Now these carrier cards used to be on this card stock. You can see I've upgraded, you can't really see that, I've upgraded to a cardboard. I don't know how many millimeters this is, maybe 1 point something or 2, I forget. Anyway, so this is the you can kind of see the strength of that. This is the cardboard. Nice. I wish there was something that can be done because the corners got a little roughed up in shipping. The carrier cards are, I think they're somewhat done. Now art wise, I have to add some more detail to the carriers, but the all of the numbers, all of the boxes, the damage, the tracks, stuff like that, I think we're done with that. Okay, and then maybe I'll talk about this. On the back side, I do have an island card because I planned on having different scenarios. So this is the back of the Japanese carrier has a Japanese island, and then the back of the United States has a United States island. And right now the only thing different are the planes, because I don't have time to do all of that artwork, and I don't think it's really necessary to make the airstrips that completely different. So that's that. That is the carrier cards, and then the combat map. I go over you would be putting your squadron. Players would be taking a turn, and they would be putting down. If I was defending, I would be putting my card first, and then let's say they were attacking 2 cards. So I have 2 more guys in my squadron, and let's say I would put them on defensive. Okay, and then that's how that works. Is the combat box is going to give you the role that you'll be flying. This has also been changed from aggressive to assertive. So it's an assertive role in attacking. They're still attacking, and I know camera's a little far away, but they're still attacking. So each player would roll their dice. I've got a 20, which is not good. It's a horrible loss. They've got a 12. Their attack is 12, but because they're in the assertive box, the assertive flight roll, their 12 gets bumped to it, plus gets bumped up by 2, so it's a 14. So they won, I lost. This gets flipped and goes into the evasive. So I totally lost. They would still have the ability now to use this card to attack my defensive role. I got 2 sort of squads here, and or two groups of 2 planes. Like the Americans kind of have a 2-element flight. So I have a 14 of defense as plus. I get a +1, and that is that is 15. I roll this, and I get an 18. Of course, I lost. He rolls, and he gets a 3. He wins, right? So this would, again, get flipped and put in the evasive. He has gone twice, so he gets put here. And then this plane gets to go next. And again, we would roll. They get a 19, so they lost. And I almost won. I lost 2. So a lose-lose does nothing. And then we would just re-roll that. Again, they get a 20. That's a catastrophic loss. We get a 10. That's a win. So actually, we would be putting we would have one of these cubes would go there. And then we would continue rolling here. So we would do one more roll. Okay, so they got a 5, they win. I got a 19, that's a loss. That means I'm caputo. Okay, this plane gets done. The combat for that round is resolved. And as you can see, my squadron is not looking good here, right? And they came out without any casualties at all, and they're in tip-top shape, right? And the color in person is, there's a slight turquoise quality to the center. It just does not come out on this camera at all. I think I need to use my higher quality camera. It's just harder to suspend above the play area. And then there's the zone cards. So let me just sort of make a little space here. Now the zone cards are changed. There's no more numbering, and there's no more zone cards now that don't have high-low, and they don't have numbers. So the only thing I changed was I took those numbers off. I changed red to tan, which is more matching what the Japanese zero is painted. Sorry, Ameiro is the color. So anyway, so this is basically what the zone card is going to look like. And those zones, again, I didn't order all of the cards. So we have our carrier here. And then these protected zones go on the left and right, like that. And then what we would do with the other zones is, as we're playing, these would be, there's 2 sides, American and US control. That happens during the recon stage. So this would be this would basically be the setup. And then there would be another protected card over here, and then the Japanese carrier would be over there. So not a normal size play area for a normal game, having a little space on the sides. I don't know how big this is. I mean, you can see like the crook of my arm here. So like that. And I'm 5'11", so I guess you can imagine how long my arms are. I don't know how long they are. I have a ruler somewhere, but like 24 inches or so, 24 by 24 play area. Depends on what scenario and stuff. This is a simple one, which has 2 carriers. Now that's how, there's no game board. That's the game board, these zones. So you're able to take these zones and change them into different configurations. There's also zones that are, they're control zones. So it's confusing now because I changed the terminology in the cards after this got shipped. So anyway, this is a dominated zone, but I have control zones that are for different scenarios that players have to hold each turn and they'll gain points for that. And then there's also, like I said, there's also the island card that players will use they will be sliding a card in the slot for the location. They would be getting those resources, and then instead of a carrier, you would be servicing your aircraft, launching and receiving on the airstrip on the island. And these are the location cards. Again, I changed the name now. They're just location cards because it was too confusing with the recon deck and the location cards. So these location cards are placed down in the beginning of the game. Again, I don't have all the space here ready, sorry. So these location cards are played down. Players will take their recon deck their hand, they'll draw like 5 cards in the beginning of the game, and then players will be placing them down for the bonuses or the locations they want. The locations don't matter; they're a little more of an aesthetic thing than anything part of the game. So players will place down their cards like so. They'll place 3 each. Let's just say okay, they would place 3 each. Then we would reveal the first card at each location. Okay, so I played a sub. Japan played a decoy. As you can see, the sub on the recon card, you can see that without my shadow getting in the way. So the sub beats the the decoy. This, you can see the icon is the same here. Okay, so the sub, maybe I should just hold that up. That's probably better, right? So the sub beats the decoy. Okay. All right. And then I would win that location, and then this gives me +3 for any pilot card. So I get that. I'm going to get that bonus for my carrier, or for my game later. Right, then those cards are discarded. Then he forfeited or this by not playing anything. So I get that. I get that bonus. And then we go to the next one, and this one is he's got a aerial intel and a decoy, and I've got aerial intel. Now, because I have a escort to my aerial intel, that cancels out his aerial intel. And the surface intel also will get canceled out because that also beats surface intel. And then I win that card as well. Then we would throw down 3 more. We would be moving there's a marker here that on his carrier. So this would be, let me just kind of show you on the camera, so maybe it's a little easier. So then I won, so this would move towards the known section. And then we would go through the other steps of the game, come back to the recon, we would have those 3 cards, we would play, and then if I win 4 rounds, it gets to known, and then I'm able to send my planes to his carrier. Yeah, so that's, right now the design is, like visually mostly done. I have to do a little tweaks here and there. I also changed the dive bombing card so you can read it. I didn't realize it was on the wrong side. It needs to be like this way. So I flipped all the text, and the torpedo I didn't change. The torpedo still remains the same. This card is used when you do torpedo bombing, and this card is used when you do dive bombing. Okay, there it goes. Right? Yeah, so the game looks pretty good. The only issue I'm having, and these are like designer thoughts, is the box. I can't get a box that's small enough because as you see, once you stack these 2 carriers and then the combat map, there's not much left. And then you're just putting, that's not very high. This is only like 3/4 of an inch thick or something like that. I don't know. It's not that big. And then the other cards piled together don't amount to much either. So it's got a small footprint as a boxed game. So if I had like a small shoeboxy type of, like a rectangular box, that would be awesome. But they don't make one at the Game Crafter. They only make the large size. Well, I don't have that next to me, do I? So they'll make this they make this behemoth, right? And to put this game in this box is horrendous. So, for example, if I flip this, and I think I can. Oh no, it's just. Oh, look at that! It's just shy. Look at that. Can you see how much space is wasted? And these are all like mini cards, and like the square cards. These square cards don't amount to much. I think I could pile almost all the square cards together. I don't think it'll come up over the box. So this is a conundrum, because having a box is a nice idea. I mean, you know, boxes are nice. You can put them on your shelf. And I think it might turn off some people wanting to get the game if I offer it just like in just, you know, these bags that they come in. You know, these bags that they come in. There's nothing wrong. I mean, I could fit the whole game in this one bag. I can fit the whole game in here. Not a big deal, but nice to have a box. You know, would be nice. So that's Pacific Flyboys right now. I'm trying to think what I didn't cover. There's cards that I didn't order because I made after, which are the crew specialization cards, which give you bonuses. So you'll sort of have in the beginning of the game, you'll pick a focus for what you want your crew to specialize in, whether it's like damage control or defensive fire, like anti-aircraft, or I think I have one for maneuvering, avoiding dive bombs and submarine attacks and stuff like that. And yeah, there are submarine attacks in the game. Being able to service the planes, the aircraft quickly. Did I talk about the event? I forget. Maybe I recorded this 3 times and I don't know what I said. So the events I kept forgetting to kind of include. I had the idea. I made a couple of cards. But now I think I've got a fun system for it that will add a little bit of fun in the game. A little, you know, for example, severe weather, no movement, no attack. And how this would work is you have your carrier, you know, over here, and you have your protected zones, which will go around the carrier. Then if you draw the rough seas card, for example, then that will affect all of those locations, not only for you, but for the enemy. So in this case, rough seas, you can't use torpedoes, and landings become dangerous. So you might have to leave your aircraft out, or risk, you know, bringing them in and, you know, them crashing or having little accidents. Yeah, so that's good. I don't like the design I made for this. I don't know if I changed it. I forget. But hopefully I changed it. And if I didn't, I definitely want to get rid of the two-tone. I feel like I did, but I just don't. I don't remember. Actually, I think I will go to the digital version now to show you what I've added or what the game looks like visually. The cards are a little bit different. And I did add a solo mode that I have to test. I'm going to test it with with this, what's the word, tabletop version, with this retail version. But yeah, the game is fun. I like it. It's visually interesting. I think it's visually engaging. And there's a few things scenario-wise I'm going to do with the game. But yeah, that's where the game is now. And if you are interested in doing any playtesting with me or trying it out together, just send me a message. Okie dokie. So here is the protected zone card. That is pretty much the same. These are the what's the word I'm looking for? The crew specializations. So you have 4 to pick from. Each team has 4, or each side rather. That's what's different. The combat mat is pretty much the same, except, oh no, this is the old version. Okay, I changed the aggressive to assertive. That's the only difference. But the numbers are also not on the printed version that I just showed. And then these are the control zones that I was talking about. And then here are what? Again, I didn't add the new ones. Okay. Everything is pretty much unchanged. I'm still working on the rule book. And yeah, that's the state of everything. Oh yeah, so the event cards, I guess I didn't change that dual tone thing. I think I need to change that. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Be well, happy, and peaceful. And until next time, take care.